Hello, welcome to game 6 of my match against Yuri. Let's see what we're doing here. Exploration doesn't actually seem that useful, given that there's no terminals at all, really. Quarry seems useful, Transmogrify seems useful. I think you can build a big Carpenter Groundskeeper engine, so I think you want to get Transmogrify going early. I think you want to get Carpenter's... Wow, you can build a really big engine here. City Quarter, and your Carpenter gaining these cheap actions, and the mill pile will run with Carpenters, and so the Carpenter can become a remodel, and you can remodel coppers into estates with a bunch of Groundskeepers in play. So that being the case, I think I'm going to open Transmogrify Shantytown, look to pick up a Carpenter fairly quickly. Also look for a spot to banish a bunch of coppers. Maybe you get a Quarry, but I don't think there's time for it. They get Exploration, which is not terrible. So this is... because when you're going to banish a couple times. So this is 3. So my next hand is going to have 6 money. I'm just going to take a warehouse now, I think. So I can go copper to silver, banish 2 coppers, or copper to... or I can go estate to silver. I can just go estate to Shantytown, I guess, and trigger a shuffle. 1, 2, 3. This gets me to the end of the shuffle, which is 5. I can buy a Bazaar, a Crypt. I think I just wanted to buy a Carpenter, though. And start gaining some mills. Maybe I gain another Transmogrify here as well, because the Shantytowns and the warehouses are not great for the deck. Maybe I gain another Transmogrify and buy another Shantytown, with the goal being to Transmogrify Shantytowns into Carpenters or whatever good actions. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is a little bit sad. Here I'm gonna go estate into warehouse, I guess. I'm not 100% sure on that. It could be estate into silver, just as a thing that doesn't mess with my Shantytown, and I can always remake that later. And then I'm looking to buy a city quarter this turn. Into silver. We'll grab a mill now. Ooh, Shantytown finds a way. Yeah, we'll get ourselves one of you. Yeah, so here I can Transmogrify Shantytown into Carpenter. Carpenter gain a mill, play the Shantytown. Something like that. Seems okay. I can also go Shantytown into warehouse. Do I have another? I have another warehouse down there, so there's a chance I can find stuff. But I think Shantytown into Carpenter is better. Carpenter gains mill, draw. Carpenter gains mill. I don't want too many things that don't draw for me. They've exiled, what, 2 estates? I don't think I want to take on 8 debt here, do I? Guess I don't want to buy anything, right? So just click City Quarter. This is a very nice start, 3 actions. Potentially Mill can do some work with Shantytowns. So yeah, I can discard there and draw. See what I find. Doesn't matter. Maybe I'm looking to get 1 big banish turn off before the end of the game, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm going to take a mill or Carpenter, and at some point you want to get Groundskeepers, right? Guess I'll take another Carpenter. Take the 8 debt City Quarter. So I think I'm going to go estate to... not 100% sure. I think I'm going to go estate to warehouse and then play the first warehouse. I should have some more actions down here, so I think I'll draw at least 2 actions off this warehouse, I guess is what I'm saying. And I don't really want more shanty towns. Okay, they're hitting mills pretty hard. I don't think I can get a groundskeeper this turn with 8 debt. I would like to try to pay. Maybe I will not try to end it. I will try to end this turn not in debt so I can get a groundskeeper this turn. Because having the groundskeeper in deck gives me a lot of capability. Oops. We drew all actions. All right, so first Carpenter gains what? I can do first Carpenter gains a mill, second Carpenter remodels something. I think I'm just going to go Shanty. Second Carpenter gains a mill. We draw, we draw, we draw. This is very sad. That was incredibly, incredibly sad turn order there. Their starting hand was not super happy either, but they found a warehouse. Yeah, man, that was brutal. Both the city quarters sort of by themselves. Maybe I should have stopped, but if I stop, then I draw a city quarter. I don't know. That just felt like a bad draw order. That shuffle, like the first one of these shanty town. Maybe not. Maybe I just had too much trash in that shuffle. So this time I'm going to start by turning this Carpenter into a Groundskeeper. Get the Groundskeeper in play. Potentially score some points. I don't think there's any kind of pile out here. I don't think they have enough actions. They've got 7 actions. Okay, they have enough actions. Then I'm going to say I don't think they have enough draw. Also, their hand is 3 coppers. Hopefully I can find some city quarters here. Yeah, so like if this first city quarter here draws a city quarter off the top, then I draw a deck and like can potentially win the game. But neither of our decks are in position where that's like an easy thing for us to be able to do. And I did trigger a reshuffle with all those extra coppers because I played the warehouse first. So maybe I should have just led on city quarter and then played the warehouse. Yeah, with 3 actions in hand, I should have just led on city quarter and then played the warehouse and had a cleaner shuffle. So that was definitely a misplay on my part, I think. I should have thought about that some more. I'm pretty happy with Carpenter into Groundskeeper here, though. So I know they have at least 3 coppers in hand. They have the Transmogrify down for whatever that's worth. The Carpenter Shantytown pile out is for real, I think, but I think it makes more sense for me to take the Groundskeeper and try to score some points to make them not able to pile out. And I don't think it takes that many points for that to happen. I also like don't have good starting hand here. Like if my... It seems possible at least that this... I could have drawn these coppers instead of the city quarter or the shanty town. Like they're draw orders, but maybe I should just never have played these shanty towns, this warehouse. Maybe I should just not play that warehouse. I'm not sure. Let me take one of you. Don't discard. Don't discard. Draw. Draw. Okay, well this is our turn. 4-point estates. And I've trashed all of my estates, right? So this is almost all my junk. I have 1 silver, 2 coppers. I have this conundrum again. Do I lead on the warehouse or not? But I have 3 city quarters in these 8 cards, so I think the answer to that is yes. I did not find a T-Mog last turn. They went Carpenter into warehouse, which leads me to believe they were dudding without that. Well, they had a mill. The Carpenters have decreased in value pretty significantly here. Then they've picked up a Crypt. They're crypting aside 5 coppers, so that is very strong for their next turn. I will note that I had 5 coppers in my last turn, so they're in my discard pile, but I'm seeing them this turn. I think I'm drawing full deck this turn though. Okay, we draw 3 here. We draw 4 here. We draw that many here. Okay, get the T-Mog down. I don't think I have enough gains to pile out here. But let me lead on playing some mills. I'm not going to discard here. I do kind of need to draw through the rest of this shuffle. But I guess we're playing this warehouse. Maybe I don't need to draw through the rest of this shuffle. Discard 2 copper, or discard copper. Copper, silver, Shanty. Don't discard. I guess I'm not triggering this shuffle. Oh, the bottom card was my Groundskeeper. The bottom card is my Groundskeeper. So I will just not discard here then. I will discard copper like that. Ah! Sorry. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're taking estates. This is terrible. Let's go silver to Groundskeeper. Draw. Okay, so those 7 cards, I do have some stuff in there that I can use. Take another Groundskeeper, take a Duchy for 4. Just take another Groundskeeper. Yeah, I've got a Groundskeeper, a couple of Shanty Towns in there. This is not like the worst shuffle in the world, but it's pretty bad. Can they win next turn with good draws? I think they cannot. I don't see how they have enough payload to win, but I'm concerned enough. I guess I'm gonna buy a Duchy. Okay, well I can lead on like Shanty to warehouse and estate to warehouse or something like that. Okay, they're drawing. Yeah, maybe they can win this turn. I would not be like super surprised. We're taking Groundskeepers. Yeah, I mean the good news is they're using their gains on Groundskeepers and not green cards or pile lowering cards, which maybe means they're just trying to score a ton here. What can I do with piles next turn? I can do a decent amount. I can also go Shanty to T-Mog if I want to make the Shanty draw. But I think I just need to go like Shanty to warehouse, estate to warehouse. Try to find a city quarter near the top of the shuffle. It's going to be really tough though, with warehouse coming in. Okay, so they did not lower any piles here. I assume they're just going to buy a province and a 9-point province. And I have triggered what is a very bad shuffle due to my... Okay, so what could I have done last turn? I could have not played this mill here. Tracked my deck. Oh no, the Groundskeeper's the bottom card, so I wanted to play it. I was kind of screwed. Take a warehouse and a warehouse, I guess. 2, 3, and like we desperately hope to find a city quarter. Nice. Draw, and we again desperately hope to find a city quarter. Draw, and I'm sure I just draw here. Okay. So I only have 3 gains, which is not enough gains to do anything super fun. So we'll just play some cards here. We want to end the turn by playing a Shantytown to draw to the end of the shuffle, I'm sure. So I can go Carpenter into... and just grab 2 estates here, I think. 3-point estates. And hope to draw a coin here, which we did. And we grab a province, I guess. Ooh, this is a lucky starting hand, which is nice. That Crypt they got off was quite nice for them. I don't know, 12 points is a lot. I've lowered the estates, though, quite a bit. I think they have 3 Carpenters. They've got a T-Mog down, which I don't. I'd spend both my T-Mogs. So, if they spend their T-Mog, play 3 Carpenter plays... If they T-Mog something into a Carpenter, then they can have 2 Carpenter plays to gain 2 Carpenters, gain 3 estates. So, like, the pile-out is there if they get all 4 Groundskeepers in play. I don't think it's there if they don't gain a Carpenter off T-Mog, although they can potentially score a ton of points with Groundskeeper. Like, they could empty the estates, buy a province, and then it can become really tough for me to pile out. The Carpenter pile out, if you can get overdraw. And maybe they can Carpenter do that anyways. They can Carpenter, gain Carpenter, Carpenter, gain Carpenter. They have to trash something every time, though, and they don't have, like, so much stuff they can trash. They can trash mills, I guess, to do that. Yeah, I got too many Shantytowns, but I don't know what... Maybe their exploration banish thing is the way to go, because you start with the 2 villagers. The villagers just they still have 4 at the very end here. I mean, maybe they do something this turn, but it doesn't feel like they have enough stuff to trash. I feel like I have a lot more stuff, although my stuff is bad, like Shantytowns and warehouses. There's 5 coppers in the trash. They've got 3 set aside. So they've got some coppers they can trash and gain. They've got, whatever these cards are that I haven't seen. They've also just got a lot of Groundskeepers, so maybe just gaining 3 estates here and buying a province is... I don't know, can they buy a province? Do they have enough money? They should have 1 more city quarter, I think. To do that. The Carpenter pile-out is basically, yeah, you Carpenter trash something into Carpenter. They maybe have estates now, too. Did they buy estates last turn? They did not. I maybe have all the estates. So I can go estate into Carpenter, estate into Carpenter, estate into Carpenter, and then I have 3 more Carpenters that I have to somehow play. To be determined how I will play this. I play Shantytown, I draw... I play Shantytown, I draw Shantytown Carpenter. That doesn't work. I draw Shantytown estate. I play Shantytown. I draw Shantytown Carpenter. I Carpenter trash estate. Play Shantytown, draw. Like, doesn't work. They also have a bunch of mills, so they can mill stuff. It looks like they've got 11... They played City Quarter with 6 cards in hand. So they have, like, 11 cards in hand, looks like, right now. Of which 3 are Carpenters, Groundskeeper, Mill, Copper. They've played all their Groundskeepers now, so they've got a couple of Coppers, couple of Carpenters, various other things. I assume they're looking for a pile out here, wherever that may be found. Not 100% sure where that would be. Yeah, the pile out looks like it would be Carpenter trash something into Carpenter 3 times, and then Carpenter trash 3 things into Estate, and that gets them 15 points in a win. They have enough actions for that. They have to have enough food to eat. And they cannot trash a mill in that line. If I counted it, they could trash 1 mill in that line. And they have 2 coins. They can actually buy a state. So they only need to play 5 Carpenters. They need 5 things to trash to get stuff. Copper can be one of those things for estates. Although you'd rather trash higher cost things. So like you need things that cost 2 or more to get. You need things that cost 2 or more to pile out the Carpenters. So they had the warehouse and 2 mills. Yeah, I don't think warehouse and 2. They could trash the warehouse in both mills for Carpenters. And maybe you trash province into province. That gets you 4 points in that line. But you're not finding the Carpenter pile out. So it looks like they're just emptying estates and getting a province here and having a big points lead. Yeah, I like the Crypt. Maybe one of those city quarters I was too greedy and I should have tried for a big Banish. Okay. So I'm not discarding here. Boy, I don't quite know how this turn is going to play out for me. Okay, I think this is a sufficiently bad of a turn that I will resign. My next turn is going to be good, but their deck was much better in the end. So, I win the match 4.5 to 1.5. Obviously, pretty happy with that. And that's it for me today. Thank you all for watching. It's been a pretty good season so far. I've still got a match to go.